Welcome to Turning Tuesday. This week I am Reese, as I am every week, and I am making a tiny little goblet. Now this started as a challenge from Todd at the Glen Cove Woodwork. Now Todd, I do believe, is quite a impressive turner himself. Now he doesn't have any videos on YouTube, and while that's pretty sad because he has made some beautiful stuff, his profile picture is in fact a really nice segmented jar of some sort. I believe it might be a cookie jar, and it is one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. So, Todd saw my video the other week about when I made my first goblet and said, okay, now go and make one that's 3/4 of an inch. And I said, sure. And when it came to it, I was like, how am I actually going to do this? Because when you think about the proportions at 3/4 of an inch, you don't have much playing room. This is my smallest spindle gouge, and it is still 9mm across. So I was having a real hard time with this one because I can't quite get in there fully. I'm doing a little bit of a back hollowing technique there. It's not great, but it certainly did the trick. And when I got down there, I then stuck the skew in just to clean up as a negative rake, and that did do the trick quite nicely. All of the turning in this video, apart from one little section, is real time, and I'm just realizing now that camera's not in focus fully. I'm a bit disappointed about that, but this was a fun little project, and for a tiny little project I needed to downsize my sandpaper. So off we go. So I've downsized and made it more applicable to the size I'm working with. And so I'm just getting in there, getting that shape nice and clean. And now I'm going to start taking down the outside edge. Now, Todd, if you are watching, I would like you to either post in my community section or post it somewhere and link it in the comments. A 1-inch one with a captive ring, because I don't think that's going to be much of a skills challenge for you, but I'd like to see how you go about it, and I'd love to see the finished project because I reckon you'd have some fun with it. This was a really fun little quick challenge, and it was a skill challenge because working with tools that are bigger than what I'm working with was certainly a challenge. And so the first thing I did was took the Sheoak down. So this is Casuarina. It is Sheoak, River Sheoak from Mudgee, and I harvested this quite a while ago, and I decided to work with it, and I then realized that I was still running really slowly. Now, I haven't cleaned the dust out of my lathe stock head in a while, and the speed readout is just all over the shop. It's currently running at about 4,000, and it thinks it's running at about 750. Or over there on this readout, I'm seeing 1580, and it's fluctuating. So, yeah, there's a bit of dust on the sensor in the spindle head, and bleh, whatever. I don't really look at the numbers, I just go by feel. And so I wanted some nice clean cuts. I knew the Sheoak would be nice and sturdy. There wasn't any chatter in it. It was coming out really nice. It was cutting gorgeously. And I'm just slowly taking my time and making sure I don't blow it up, because I have a tendency to do that, especially when working on really small things, because this one was a really little fun challenge. And thank you very much, Todd, very much. I've very much enjoyed this, because initially I was thinking about it and I really got stuck on how to hollow out that goblet, the actual cup center. And I chatted with Sid, and he was like, "You're overthinking this, just do it." And so I did. Took me about 20 minutes in total, and probably 5/8 of it was just sanding. So this video's ended up at about 8 minutes long because, yeah, the turning section didn't take that long, and I genuinely was overthinking it. Thank you, Sid, for calling me out and making me go, alright, let's give it a crack. Now, did you hear that little squeak? You're going to hear it a bit more. Starting to get a little bit of harmonics because we are getting very, very thin. So, the stem thickness on this is all of about 2.5 mil. So, pretty small. And I'm just supporting that by resting my finger on the back of it, trying to keep it running as true as possible and minimize the harmonics. And that sanded up quite nicely, and then I stuck some linseed oil on it and parted it off. So all the little movements in between and things like that, I sped them up. Now this one, I got a little piece of wood stuck on the tip of the tool, and I had to get that off. So now I'm just taking it away and giving myself some working room. So I did 3 or 4 passes here, took it back 3 or 4 mil, and then I angled it and came in for an undercut foot so that I could clean that up and it would sit really nice and flush on the table. I'm still running, this time I am running at about 1500 while I'm parting it, and off it goes. And there was a nice little chunk sitting underneath it, so I pulled out the sander and gave it a quick blast. Then I dropped it, and I couldn't see it. And so here I am looking for it, and eventually I found it. So, just using the very, very, very far edge of it, making sure I don't hit the actual foot itself, because there's not a lot of working room there. And I'm just standing in the back there using a chisel to finish it off. And I've now put some oil in the inside and on the bottom, and it has come out nice. Now I'm going to take a quick picture here for the height to show that it is 3/4 of an inch. Couldn't get much closer if I tried. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed.